We need to talk about this.
Tune in now.
The Georgio Says podcast starts now.
Give it up for your host of the Georgio Says podcast. He needs to talk about this. It's Georgio.
Hi, James.
Hi.
You're back.
I'm
You're
back
back
with a
in
vengeance.
person.
Back with a vengeance.
Well, we're very happy to have you back. So, as I mentioned, guys, we're going to be recapping. Well, not really recapping, but more behind the scenes, getting a little bit of the producer insight into what was going on throughout the episodes. So, super fun. Happy that James is here in person.
Yeah.
We do have questions. I asked you guys on Instagram last week. Send me your questions around the episode. A lot of you had a lot to say more than ask. So we had to weed those out for obvious reasons because although James is a producer, he's not going to go into like the blogger news and all that stuff.
I mean, as much as I would like to answer them.
Well, sure, but I
there's
think
just
realistically
things-
speaking, it would be...
doesn't make any sense.
Why would you do that?
No.
So at any rate, there are a bunch of you that did ask some really good questions around, certain scenes. And so we're just going to ask James and see what he can and can't answer around these things. But we did weed out a lot of the stuff he couldn't. So should be a good time. First of all, James, how are you?
Good. It's been a minute.
How do you feel now that the show is wrapped?
It's always like, it's like a bittersweet thing because we see each other all the time, all day for like 3 months, pretty much. And it's like a family. So we come into their homes and, we're invited in and things like that. So we see everything that's happening at the moment. And that's when we just put our cameras up and we start rolling. We don't necessarily, there's no staging or any of that. So it's as soon as you walk in, it's bam, this is what's happening. You can't control that.
I think that's one of the main things around across all the franchises people are always interested in is like, how does it, like, so obviously we see there's scenes of the housewives at home,
Yes.
which that's not just a scene, perhaps. It's like you're probably spending a good majority of the day with them while they're interacting and doing whatever it is that they would normally do.
Yeah.
But I guess for scenes that are going to have like conversations, do you give them a minute? Like, or do you just show up at the door with cameras and everyone's just, as soon as you get there, the cameras are rolling? Or do you give them a second, I guess, to warm up?
Of course, you can give them a second if they need it, if they ask for it. But pretty much they know that we are coming, so
Right.
they're
Prepared.
they're prepared for that. It does take a few minutes because we do have to put up if there's a light or something just to highlight the room because it could be dark, depends if it's morning or afternoon or evening. So there's a little bit of setup time that we set into the house. Some of it is already pretty much ready for them. But during that time, sometimes I'll talk to one of the ladies or something like that, just see how their day's going, what's going on, get the scoop if they have anything, just to banter and talk. And then if not, then we start to go. But their home is their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it's what probably typically happens every day. The kids come home from school, they're running around, they're hungry, the ladies have to cook something for them. So when you see that, that's because that's what's happening. So you can't say anything like, oh, stop the kids. Kids are coming in. Like you would never do that, because is
there ever a time where they say like, keep the kids pushed back? Like, meaning, yes, the kids are in the room, but are they ever like, can we lay off
like
them being on camera right now?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. Especially if one of the ladies doesn't want their kid on for right now or isn't feeling well or something. Yeah, they'll be around, and
Yeah.
but I mean, if they walk in,
It's
there
happening.
it
So
happens.
yeah.
So it's all up to the parent for sure.
Well, you got to film with Gretchen.
I did.
So
Yeah.
last season
Uh-huh.
it was Alexis, right?
Yes.
So what was the vibe? People I think are expecting a similar chaotic vibe for different reasons because Gretchen is very historic
Yeah.
in this franchise, but like people are very much comparing the like two.
Well, it's kind of funny. Even before we were recapping last season a little bit, just talking about things, I even mentioned, I said, or we were talking about it, I was like, who would you want to see back? And I said, I think Gretchen would be a great
I need to go
addition.
back and do that as a flashback
And
here
and I know you should do a little flashback.
because I think you
'Cause
did
we
say that.
I said Gretchen.
I think you did.
I will tell you one very interesting thing that some people know, not a lot of people. But at the end of last year, I always tell the ladies I love working with them. It's never about doing housewife talk once the camera. I don't like that. It's not my involvement, but I generally cherish them as ladies and respect them. So I'm always like, if you're ever in LA, or let me know. I'll always meet up for a coffee, or shopping. You need a shopping friend, I'll go shopping with you. But it's we will not talk housewives at all. Zero. I do not.
So it's just like normal banter because
no-
obviously
Of course. And it's more of just getting to know them too, as
Mhm.
they're getting to know me, not just as a producer. It's just like friends when people are working with somebody at the office. It's
yeah.
the same thing. It's like you work, you do your work, and then outside of work, it's like we don't talk about work.
Right.
We
You're
just
trying to get to know each other in a
yeah,
different
as
way.
who we are
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
person. Anyway, so Katie invited me to an event in West Hollywood
Okay.
and it was a opening event, and I said, sure, I'll come meet you. Why not? And I thought it was very nice of her to offer that. Um, and that opening, Gretchen was there,
Oh.
and Katie was with me, and I was like, oh, I think that's Gretchen. She goes, oh, I think that is too. And it was their first meeting, them two together.
Katie and Gretchen.
Katie and Gretchen.
So did Katie invite Gretchen, or was she just happened
No,
to be at the same event?
Correct. They were just at the same
And
event.
that was their like first interaction with each other?
Yeah. Where they
But was
first-
Gretchen already slated to start filming the show?
No.
This was
not
before.
before.
Wow. Okay, so that's
This
pretty
is all
organic.
before. It was very organic. I wish I took some pictures that evening, but I didn't, because that's not
You
what
don't-
we do.
yeah, you
Like,
don't really
we
do that.
don't, I
Only when you're filming the show.
go back. But it was very interesting because it was the first time they met, and
Yeah.
they said hello. Have they been in other venues? I don't know, but at that moment, it was kind of the first time where they met. And they were very cordial and very nice to each other, like let's hang out type thing. So who knows after that? But
Well, I'm excited for Gretchen
yeah,
return because I think I don't know, it just adds a different layer of nostalgia, I guess,
Yeah.
in this group.
Yeah.
But well, I guess we'll wait and see what that looks
Yeah.
like in real time.
and it's not just it's not just Katie who had. I've been with some of the other ladies as well in terms of other things.
Mhm.
So I just don't want it to make it look like that I'm only with like hanging out with Katie. But she invited me, and I said yes. And just like any of the other ladies,
He's
who
only saying
invite
that
me,
because
they-
of episode 1, you guys. He totally hangs out with her all the time. No.
I do not.
Well, there was a lot of questions because first, I will say the first episode, I know you don't have anything to do with the edits, but like it was a lot. They packed in a lot, I felt like. I mean, it was extended on Peacock, so I didn't watch the live version,
Right.
but it was a lot.
There was a lot. A little tidbit behind the scenes too is I didn't start until almost a couple weeks once the show was
Once it
already
was started.
started. We kind of stagger in producers. So, but there were a couple of my scenes that did make that air because typically we I just don't know. We don't know what makes it in or
Yeah.
So, but I'm always excited to see, when it's our teams that whose work is in the episodes. It's always fun.
Do you guys ever compare your scenes with
N-
others? Like, be
no.
like, I know that's that person's scene because XYZ, or
No, but I mean, that's a good question. I think we're all excited when we see each other's, um, but I always get excited seeing my scenes with my crew and everything because it's it it's it's just fun to do and
yeah.
it's fun and we'll get to a little bit
Yes.
of that later, I'm sure.
Well, because I want to get to something that was really something that was a highlight of episode 1, which was, what was the production team's goal in spotlighting blogger fan culture so prominently in the premiere? So I guess the question is, like, a lot of people feel like they don't like that bloggers,
Mhm.
if you will, are getting some sort of real credibility to a point where they're being brought up amongst the ladies, where I feel a little bit differently because when I look at the edit, right? Because last season I was featured on the show twice, but organically, not because of there was, it was all stuff that happened way before they filmed. It was stuff that happened, like the video I did on Ryan was done way before they started even filming last season. So my point in that is I got credit on the episode. The person, the Bravo babe, we all know who it is, but on the episode, obviously, they blur out who this blogger is that's been communicating with Katie. I guess the question is, does that become a conversation with production ever when the women are bringing up bloggers? And I'm using that very faintly because I get it, but like content creators, if you will, independent journalists, does production ever get like, let's not go in this direction too much, or do you guys kind of let it ride?
Well, I guess you kind of have to see what is going on with it because
Okay.
does it make sense for it to be on the show, I guess, in a way? Because sometimes it just happens because that's what was
Yeah.
happening in her life at that moment. I guess she was talking to a blogger. But the thing is if you guys are reaching out to the ladies, then there's two different scenarios here. It's
Mhm.
like who's reaching out to who and why.
Right.
We don't know, but we're here to figure that out.
So you guys will start to uncover that on as it progresses. Like if you see that this is
Yes.
continuing to be a part of a storyline, you're like,
Sure, but
"Mhm."
also why? Because I mean, not saying anything in terms of you, but
We're done.
uh,
No, I had my turn. I got
But-
credit. I'm happy.
but
I'm
if you think
fine.
about it, before all of this was even happening,
Yeah.
no podcasts, any of that.
Sure.
It was the thing was all family related and things like that. But there's things that will start to be inserted because you guys do talk about them.
Yes.
And sometimes when I'm listening to other podcasters or things like that, I kind of laugh because I'm like, where'd they get that? Where's that from? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. And I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, they're talking bullshit sometimes. Now, I don't, I, do I, hey, that's just my opinion.
Well, no, I think
But
it's interesting. I guess that should have been a question. What is your view when you watch people like me? Like, first of all, with me, do you feel like I'm pretty
well, first of all, you and I are friends for a long
Sure,
time.
sure.
We've been friends for 18 years, and I'm not biased or anything. I think what you do is great as long as it's credible
Yes.
and it's truth.
Yes.
When you start getting information from other things start to get messy.
Right.
And you're like, where did you get that from? And I would call you out if there was something that I'm like, that's not true, Georgio.
No, sure, yeah.
But I think some podcasters and bloggers out there are just looking for trouble or trying to insert themselves into one of these ladies' lives so that they can get some time. And honey, they need to stop because it's
I think that's
silly.
what this question was more geared towards. I think fans and viewers are concerned that the bloggers will mess up storylines or make it more about the blogger who's just clearly in it for time. We have a good example of Salt Lake City where we had a content creator up in Adam who was on a phone call with Whitney. The game of telephone didn't clear through. And so people were very angry to come to find out none of that was true. All the phone conversation, whatever audio was clipped, was not true. So I get it from that lens as well, which I guess is what you're saying. You guys kind of will scope that out. If you feel like it doesn't make sense, then would you just say, do we need to talk about that? Like, I don't know how
but
you
you
guys
let it play
yourself.
out. You just play it out and see where it goes. But the other thing is also, it's like, who's reaching out to who?
I guess that's the bigger question at it all. Like, if the blogger is reaching out to the housewife with something salacious, then there's probably a different motive.
Possibly. Correct.
More than likely.
But we don't know that. We don't,
So were you around when you weren't around then when this all kicked off with Katie and the blogger situation that we saw?
I think that all happened in between seasons. So the blogger thing.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
So when cameras are down, that's none of
your
our
business
until it's still happening when our cameras go back up, if that makes sense.
It totally does. There was a lot of great questions regarding Emily and Shane's choice to share their son Luke's diagnosis. A question we got a lot was what kind of guidance or messaging, if there was any, did producers give to Emily around sharing her son Luke's ARFID diagnosis and potential autism diagnosis on camera? Like, is there a conversation that happens when that's happening? If she's going to share that, are you guys given a heads up to be like, look, this is sensitive and I want to make sure it's like, I don't know.
It's all up to her.
Okay.
If she wants to share. And I think when she brought it up was in the car with Gina.
About the not knowing about the autism, yes. Because she did specify that there was a lot of testing that needed to be done.
Sometimes when you think about certain things, these ladies are always around cameras all the time. I think that was her moment that she's like, I'm ready to discuss it. Whether it was in a car or wherever she felt comfortable to discuss it, she wanted to do it at that moment. That was her way of letting it out, I guess, in terms of there wasn't a big crew around.
It's more intimate in the car. It doesn't feel like you have a bunch of people.
I feel like she felt it was a time she wanted to share it. And that was up to her to do that. I mean, I always give props to Emily or any of the ladies that want to share something that is very family oriented, because it's something that they're working out together to make better, and how to navigate this while we're there filming. So
I could tell in the car it was in her throat, like she had to say it, and you could just tell she was waiting to say it. But I guess my view on it is that there is a lot of people that also see this in a negative aspect because they look at it like, well, he's a kid and now we're exposing this for everyone to comment on, which I understand, but I didn't find anything, and I don't know, this is episode 1, but like, that's why I think people want to know, like, does production have a hand in how it can be discussed so that it isn't ripped apart by people? Or
but that's not, and people ripping that apart, to me, it isn't fair. There are a lot of people out there that don't know how to talk about certain things, or don't know how to talk about certain topics. And when you have somebody on national TV saying something about it, it starts to get the news out of what this is, what happens to it. And to share it takes a lot out of a person. So I commend her for talking about it, because, that could be a shock to all of us too. And it's up to her again if she wants to keep moving forward with it and get that information out there. But I think it helps with other families all over that watch the show going, oh, maybe my son or daughter has this. Let me check and make sure. So
well, that was something I did see across everyone's recaps and even Emily's post. so many people came out to say not exactly the same type of situation, but similar experiences with their children. So, if anything, I think there's good and bad to everything.
Sure.
And if you are choosing to share something that intimate, I always have empathy for that because it's not easy and it's cut up at the same time. So it's, that's a lot of pressure as well to make that decision. So
Yeah.
I think that I think they're the two people I would trust with delivering whatever it was going on with me. Like they're not I think people need to understand like this isn't something that a housewife I would imagine would use for a storyline.
No.
That's not that deep in my mind. There's a plethora of other things I think Emily and Shane could have
No.
picked
Yeah.
if that were the case, but I don't find them to even be that way. I feel like they're just like, this is what we're doing.
And that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So
what was your view on the Katie and Emily relationship this season in this episode? Because it was clear that there was a lot of
animosity, I guess.
that's the great word. Well, animosity more towards from Emily to Katie. It seems like Katie had kind of moved on from her anger stemming from the reunion and things that played out. She's almost now seems more calm, or she seemed calm, and maybe that was just her defensive approach to it. But Emily was definitely at her wit's end.
Yes. This one's a little bit harder for me to answer, but I think because I don't know when somebody goes after or talks negative or about someone's family, and that's hard to navigate because you want to try and fix things, just like any friendship. You know, some things just don't work out.
Yeah.
And if it don't work out, don't keep trying. Maybe I don't know. It's like it's almost like a dead horse. Is that what
it's going to turn into glue?
And yeah, it's just yeah. I don't want to talk too much about it because we'll have to see how it.
No, for sure. I think it was just the episode one. It was like, oh boy, is this going to be how Emily is the entire time when she sees Katie? Which I don't think so. But again, it's only episode one, which is why everyone was like, whoa, you guys like jam-packed everything that you could into the premiere minus Gretchen, because that would have made everyone explode probably.
Well, if you think about it, a lot was going on when cameras are off. I wish we could be with them throughout the summer when we're not filming, but I mean, we can't. But I think that's probably what the crew is trying to do, is trying to backtrack a little bit and get you caught up with everything. That's all.
So let's talk about Tamra. Did you film that scene of her therapy?
No,
session?
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
So what was your take? Because we're obviously getting a different side of Tamra from what we're seeing. She's in therapy now. She's unpacking her trauma. I've been through that. So I completely register what I was watching there. What are your thoughts on her sharing that part of her story now? Because she has been historically known as the villain. She comes in, she's mouthy and all this. But now I feel like we're going to get to see a more humanized version of Tamra through this lens.
I love Tamra, and I think everybody, like you said, and everybody need therapy at some point of their life. And going to therapy is important part of life. And that's just the way that, I suggest everyone try and find someone to talk to, whether it's not the first therapist that you meet. You might have a connection with that person, then find the next therapist. And
it's like dating.
It is. You got to go through a few just to make sure you all are compatible when you're speaking and, opening yourself up and being vulnerable. And I think, Tamara's been on there the longest.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot in her that she wants to let out. And I think what's going to go, through her in this season, we were lucky enough to be a part of that, to see her in a therapy session, because then you see another side too of somebody. And I think when we're in therapy, we're not screaming, "That's my opinion," or
Mm-mm.
things. So you are seeing another side because she's opening herself up to this therapist.
And it's a vulnerable spot to be in.
100%. And, when we're filming those, we like to be as far away. We do not interrupt at all. We are not.
So just for like shits and giggles, for that scene, I know you didn't film that scene, but however, if you were to film a scene like that, and I'm sure you have,
Yes.
where are you guys in that situation? Because in my mind, if I'm sitting here, my therapist is sitting here,
Sure.
you guys are all probably, I would imagine, behind her.
No.
Or are you like in
We're
the
in another room.
windowsills?
We're in another room. The only person that's in there is the camera and the audio.
So you just set up a camera
Yeah.
and then you leave. That's interesting. So I always thought
Mm-mm.
that you guys are like barreling over behind this therapist while this happened, because that would make me feel less likely to share. But
No.
that makes more sense.
I mean, I think, of course, because why would you want so many people in a room like that when you're discussing certain things? Again, this leads back to probably when Emily talked about Luke in the car with Gina. It's the same thing. It's like
There's a closed.
there. It's just not a lot of people are there. We're not.
Yes. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So again, this is a Tamara again, probably being vulnerable and open. We don't want to. We're just here with a camera, just to let it go and do your thing, because this is a real session. This is really happening.
I don't know why I'm so excited to know this information about that.
Well, I think a lot of people tend to think it's staged and
Yeah.
we're making this shit up, or saying, Tamara, you need therapy, go do it. But no, it's not. This is her therapy session, her actual therapy session at this time. And we're the ones that are like, are we okay to come film this? So there's a process of that too.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's
Yes, guys. So it was
it's
a
really
real therapy session. There wasn't a staged thing, which I'm glad to know that, because I'm sure that happens in a lot of different intimate situations where there's sensitive information
Sure.
like that.
Now, sorry, and
No.
this is for our show. I don't know what other shows do, but all the
Sure,
ones
we're
that
only talking about Orange County.
yes, in our particular show, that's how.
I mean, to be honest with you, not to sidetrack, I'm thinking back to there was a scene in Secret Lives of Mormon Wives where I think her name is Macy or Michaela. One of them was in a therapy session. And I, for a second, was like, wow, it really feels like it's just two of them in this room. But now, I'm not saying that that's the exact methodology,
Yeah.
but it could be, maybe that is the best approach to get the best content if the person feels most comfortable, if there's not a bunch of people, obviously outside of the sensitivity.
I mean, for sure. I mean, that's how. I mean, wouldn't you, if you're talking with someone? I don't know. Maybe you want a lot of people.
Depends.
It just depends on.
I
the
think,
person.
yes. I mean, for something sensitive and personal, I think either a car or pop your camera out and get the fuck out, and then I'll give it to you. But I'm not doing it if there's two people and a boom mic standing here. But in other situations, I'm fine to have normal conversations. But in, I think, therapy sessions or things that are sensitive about family members and such, I probably would want it where there wasn't people around.
I mean, I would agree myself.
Okay, let's see here. You guys really were wanting to know about this Jen swimwear wedding thing. Okay. So you guys all know my thoughts on Jen and Ryan, which is nothing because I'm neutral on it. But the swimwear scene, first of all, you have to tell us, is this for real? Like, are they like this, or are they putting on a little bit more of this like white snake, like we're gonna just ride off on a motorcycle with a white bikini and veil, like that? Like, it's just, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love them. They crack me up together. No, that's what they were hoping to do. I don't know how it plays in terms of what if they get married or not, but I mean they're engaged.
They were like for real. That is a for real option for her.
Yes.
That wasn't just like we're playing around today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try on the sexy bathing suit.
Yeah. They were thinking of getting married or on the beach, like they said. So they were testing the waters, I guess, per se, and trying out some bathing suits. But yes, just so you know, I filmed that scene. That was one of my scenes.
So what was
For-
that whole experience? Like, how long were
love
you
it.
guys
So
there?
That's Beach Bunny.
Yes.
They're an amazing store. I filmed with them on Beverly Hills too.
I was gonna
back
say,
in
it
the day.
looked
They
familiar.
used to have one in Los Angeles, but this one's in Fashion Island,
Okay.
and um, which Fashion Island, all of them shop at that mall. So we love, when we have to film at certain locations, we always, reach out to the same people and say, hey, ladies are ready to come back to their, you know, the places they like to go to.
Mhm.
So this is again one of Jen's favorite stores. So why wouldn't we not want to film there? Because you could film at any bathing suit store that you would want to, but that's where she shops and that's where she goes. So we try to get every places
So
where they like to go to.
she is a consumer of that store. So it's
100%.
not because they
Yeah.
have the Beach Bunny
Correct.
there. Like,
Correct.
so this is a full-on thing. They are clearly madly, deeply in love, like a White Snake video. Like, I just picture her just dancing on a bar while he's like rocking out.
I mean, they crack me up. I will say though, Jen, when you go into her house during my scenes, if I was there, Jen would always offer me some coffee, and Jen knows how to make me some really good coffee.
Oh, and how's she make the coffee then?
Oh, she pours the coffee, and then she'll pour me the creamer, and I mean it goes up to the top, and then a little more sugar, and then she's like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "This is the best coffee I've ever had in my life."
That sounds like the coffee I
She-
make. It's like half coffee, half and half.
It is. It's
2 scoops of sugar.
it is perfect.
It's a sweet treat.
She gets me going all day in the house, and we just crack up laughing. I love it.
Okay, well, I think you'll know who this question came from, but one person wants to know Chrissy, Cindy, or Terry. If you guys don't know, I think this is a Three's Company
Always
question.
Chrissy. Always Chrissy. Wait, is this somebody that's asking?
Someone asked this. This was actually the first question I received when I posted my Instagram stories asking you guys to send the question.
This is I know who this is from then.
You absolutely do.
This is from Shane. And Shane, if you're watching, it's always a Chrissy episode. I know you're going to say a Terry episode, but always Chrissy. Always.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It kind of
Yes.
feels like more of a Terry, but
No, don't agree with Shane.
oh, is that what he thinks?
Oh, Shane will pick Terry.
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't have any context here. I thought he was just asking who of the there's a clear like thing going on about this.
Oh, well, every time
Sorry, Terry.
every time I do love Terry, but Chrissy's my go-to. So Shane and I have a very we love Three's Company, and Three's Company is one of my favorite shows ever. I literally watch it on reruns now.
Yeah,
all
it's
the
so good.
I do get sad when Chrissy leaves after season 5.
It changes a lot.
It changes a lot. Cindy comes in. She's all right. And then Terry finishes the show.
So it is Terry.
But, Shane.
I don't know, you guys. If you guys understand, if watch Three's Company, you can weigh in on this. This is clearly not an OC question, but
I'm a Chrissy season 4 all the way through. Always. Please give me the side pony, some cake. That she's the best. Though.
I know.
It's very
rip.
She
That's
was on
crazy.
He was on Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get to the big scene you actually filmed with Shannon at the Golden Door, because this, I believe, was your scene, no? Or your concept?
That's all of us.
Okay.
So we're all there, but the beginning part, like when we're at our house getting ready, that was me. That was our team. And then we all go to the Golden Door. So everybody... That's everybody.
What's that like? What's that whole situation, planning something like that?
So, the crazy thing is, even when I first started on the show or with Shannon, we would always try to get the Golden Door. So this was like the first time they allowed us to film. But typically when we would reach out to them, it's kind of their, if there's a lot of guests there, guests want to be private. That's probably why you don't see other people. There are people there, they just don't want to be seen.
So they scatter.
Yeah, they kind of scatter. We do our own thing, but you don't want to invade on people's privacies because
Right.
that's
Well,
a
they're paying a
retreat.
pretty penny too, so.
And so yes, there are other people there, but we don't pay attention to them that much.
When you guys are at the house with Shannon,
Yeah.
what? First of all, it feels like Shannon is back with a different vibe. She wants to almost be like, I'm ready to move on from all the stuff last season, and I just want to jump straight ahead into what my new normal is.
Right.
I guess what was it like that day getting her ready?
She was excited.
Okay.
Oh, she was ready to go. That the
It's
golden
always
door.
hard to tell with Shannon sometimes because sometimes
No,
it
she
seems like
was-
she's at her last wit
She-
about all of it, but then I don't know. I hear that like she's actually
She was ready to go. This was, her event in terms of inviting all the ladies, which
Yeah.
they do. And she was ready to show the experience that she has there, which I think they showed that.
Yeah, no,
and she even posted on Instagram.
posted before about going there
That's
in the
like
past. Like
a
I
great
know
place
she
for
really
her.
does
Yeah.
frequent there.
So it was nice to finally actually go there. They allowed us to film and do the things that Shannon liked, and I'm sure Shannon was very appreciative to let them allow us to come in. Because there is a lot of us there, and of course, again, we're respecting the privacy of other people there as well. So we got to maneuver ourselves in a respectful manner
Mhm.
because we want to make sure the experience for those people too is what they came there for, not to see big cameras all over the place.
So I guess the end scene where the ladies are all gathered,
Yes.
we have this, situation between Tamra and now Emily because they both have had a similar experience with Katie at this
Mhm,
point
mhm,
regarding this.
mhm.
What was the energy? Specifically Gina, I feel as well. She really is almost coming in spearheading this, like wants to get to the bottom
of
line.
things.
It felt like we got to get to the bottom of this now. We're
Yeah.
not going to wait 2 more scenes for you to come up with more of a story. And so that was interesting because Gina typically, she's a good support, but this season it feels like, at least from episode 1, she's taking charge. Like she's like, all right, Emily, we're going to go get the answers to this, because I'm sick of it too. Like that's kind of what I'm getting.
I mean, and I think that's how any of these ladies want to do. They want to know now. Like,
Right.
Tell me why are we beating around the bush? Tell me. Let's get to it. The odd thing enough is there was no service that day. So for some people,
Some people clearly had some. They
some
Verizon.
people had service. Yes, AT&T does not.
This is not
Look.
sponsored by any of you hoes, so don't even think about it.
But it is. I think Gina is right. Find a way to get some type of service or whatever. But maybe Katie was like, I need to figure something out. Who knows? I don't know. But she really didn't have service.
My view on that scene was this had been brought up to Katie before that event happened. She already knew that Emily was pissed at her about speaking with people. And then the Tamara situation, she already knew about it because they had a conversation in a flashback. My thing with Katie is, and I like Katie, I didn't understand. So if that was brought to my table and someone accused me of whatever in terms of bloggers, and I'm going to the next event and I know everyone's going to be there, I'm screenshotting every fucking thing and keeping it in my photo album because sometimes in the moment, like, yes, you may not have service and that fucking sucks because now it looks like you are scrambling, but you aren't. You really can't get into your messages. Maybe you can. I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I'm looking for messages without service or being an SOS, but I would imagine you can't. So, meaning like you can't scroll and keep getting where people want to see is the beginning. I think what I'm gathering is who started this conversation. Was it Katie reaching out to the blogger or was the blogger the one that reached out? Now, the blogger has since released her own receipts, but in that moment, I was a little annoyed with Katie for not being prepared.
That I can't answer because I don't know. I'm not on her phone looking. So
No, I meant more about like just the whole scenario itself being like, it's maddening because you're watching, you're like, why didn't you just come with the receipts? You knew that it could be brought up.
maybe she wasn't thinking that at the moment. I don't know. That I can't answer that because
Katie?
that's her question.
Listen, I like Katie, and I don't think I agree with what Tamara said on Watch What Happened. I don't think she's that girl, right? I think she was mad, and I think she was hurt, and I think this is all new to her too. And I think she she kind of went down a slippy slide, and I think she figured it out quickly. So I'm hoping as the season progresses, we get more context and answers.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want to.
No spoilers, but
it's not a spoiler. It's just that I mean I agree with you in terms of maybe being prepared, but maybe she just didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know. But Gina was telling her, "Go find her."
Right.
Go find. I'd be trying to look for her, but again, it's like that's up to Katie, whatever she wants to do.
Which she obviously chose not to go get the service.
Well, I think also what she was saying was, as soon as I get home, then we figure it out who texting who. But then to them, they may be like, are you going to delete something? Maybe. Who knows?
No, that is what they were thinking.
Yeah.
At least Gina was more worried. I think that if she had more time, she could go back and clean it up. But I do believe there's more to it, and it hopefully will get discussed. Before we leave you, what was something from this episode that you weren't around for in terms of like filming or producing that you saw that you were like, oh, what's an oh moment you had from episode 1 that you weren't a part of?
You know, I guess the oh moment for like, oh, was when Gina brought Emily to go see Katie.
Okay, that was mine.
That was like, oh. I mean, I did know about it coming in because I need to understand what's happening, because when I come in as a producer, I need to make sure we're following everything. So, but to see it now on TV, I'm like, oh, wow, that's how
it's like that's what I meant when I said Gina's coming in like hot a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm bringing her in case you
Yeah.
try to dip out. Like
Yeah.
you know. So, well, thanks, James, for being on.
Oh, God,
We'll be
hopefully we didn't-
recapping the whole season.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is a treat because I am on the East Coast right now. I'm
yes,
visiting.
this won't always be in person, by the way.
No.
Sometimes it will be over Zoom. People are busy. But one thing I want to say before we head out, guys, go to nofilterlive.com and get your tickets to the City Winery show in Philly on July 23rd. I will be there with Zach. There is a couple special guests slated. So don't forget to get your tickets. You can go to my Instagram stories to purchase them. Okay.
Just know I'm not the special guest, though.
No, I wish. I wish he was.
But tell Zach I said hi. I know Zach.
Yeah. Also, the music video for my single Wet Hot Bummer is coming out on Friday. So you can watch that on my YouTube channel and stream my album Mirrorball everywhere you stream your music. Thank you.
All right, Wet Hot Bummer.
I know.
I'm going to go have a Wet Hot Bummer because that's what it feels like outside.
It does. It's actually gross. All right, guys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And until the next episode, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
We need to talk about this.
Tune in now.
The Georgio Says Podcast starts now.
Give it up for your host of the Georgio Says podcast. He needs to talk about this. It's Georgio.